Okay, I want you to think about something for a second. The way you sleep. You do it for a third of your life, right? But what if I told you that very position could be, night after night, setting the stage for a stroke? It sounds crazy, I know. But neurosurgeons are seeing this happen. Healthy people who do everything right, end up in the ER because of one simple mistake they make for 8 hours every single night. So let's pull back the curtain on the hidden dangers lurking in our own beds.
The answer, which is buried deep in medical journals, is a terrifying yes. While you think you're getting a restful night's sleep, your brain could be getting starved of oxygen, your arteries could be compressed, and your blood flow could be dramatically reduced. You know that feeling of waking up with a numb arm or some brain fog? A lot of us just brush it off, but those can actually be warning signs.
Now look at this number, 73%. This isn't just some random statistic I pulled out of thin air. This represents a 73% increase in stroke risk from one of the most common sleeping positions out there, a position that millions of us think is perfectly harmless.
And that staggering risk, that's linked to just one of the positions we're going to talk about today. So what we're going to do is count down the 5 most hazardous sleeping positions, starting from number 5. And most importantly, we'll show you exactly what you can do to protect yourself.
All right, let's dive right in. Kicking off our countdown at number 5 is a classic, the arm under pillow. You're on your back, one arm tucked up under the pillow, feels pretty comfortable, seems totally harmless, right? Well, this is where our journey into this hidden danger really begins.
So what's actually happening here? Let's break down the mechanics. When you put your arm under that pillow, your own body weight presses down and compresses the subclavian artery. That's a major blood vessel, a superhighway for blood running right under your collarbone. This pressure creates turbulence, kind of like choppy water, in your blood flow, and that turbulence can lead to clots. Now, as we get older, our blood vessels lose their elasticity. They become more like old, stiff garden hoses. You add this nightly pressure to the mix, and you're basically creating a perfect storm for a stroke.
And look, the data absolutely backs this up. A 5-year study out of Johns Hopkins found that people who regularly slept this way had a 21% higher risk of having transient ischemic attacks, or TIAs. You might know them as mini strokes. They are often a huge flashing red warning sign that a major stroke could be on its way.
And this isn't just theoretical, this is real life. Take Jennifer, a 58-year-old teacher. For decades, she slept with her arm tucked under her pillow. One morning, she woke up and just couldn't move her hand right. An MRI later revealed she'd had multiple strokes, all traced back to this seemingly innocent sleeping habit.
Okay, moving on to number 4. Now this position is basically a neurologist's nightmare. Why? Because it directly messes with the main highways of blood supply to your brain, the carotid arteries. You've got one running up each side of your neck.
Think about it. When you sleep on your stomach, you have to turn your head to one side to breathe. You're stuck like that for 6, 7, maybe 8 hours straight. This prolonged rotation stretches the carotid artery on one side while compressing the one on the other. All that mechanical stress, night after night, can create tiny little tears in the artery's lining, and those tears become the perfect collection points for dangerous plaque.
And the long-term damage is, well, it's profound. A University of Michigan study found that people who were stomach sleepers for over 20 years showed arterial aging that was equivalent to being 10 years older. Let that sink in for a second. Your sleeping habit could be aging your arteries a full decade faster.
This was the reality for Robert, a 45-year-old software engineer. He started seeing what he described as lightning bolts in his vision, which is a classic warning sign of poor blood flow to the brain. An ultrasound revealed a significant narrowing in his carotid artery, and it was directly linked to his lifelong habit of stomach sleeping.
Coming in at number 3 is one of the most common positions of all. We're talking about 65% of people sleeping this way. It's the pillow hugger. You know, you're on your side and you've got your arm tucked under your head for support. So many of us do this. So here's the problem. Using your arm as a pillow compresses what's called the thoracic outlet. That's the narrow space between your collarbone and your first rib. This doesn't just cut off circulation to your arm, making it fall asleep. It creates back pressure that actually affects the circulation going to your brain. A groundbreaking study from Stanford found that people sleeping this way had on average 43 episodes of reduced brain blood flow every single night. That adds up to hours every single night that your brain is being starved of the oxygen it desperately needs to function and repair itself.
And the cumulative effect of all this is staggering. The very same study showed that long-term pillow huggers develop something called white matter lesions. You can think of these as tiny little scars on the brain, visible on an MRI, caused by that repeated lack of oxygen. And the presence of these lesions, it increased their stroke risk by a massive 56%.
Just look at Maria, a 62-year-old nurse. She was super health conscious. But after 40 years of sleeping this way, she started having memory problems and trouble finding her words. Her brain scans showed extensive damage, all consistent with chronic, position-induced oxygen deprivation.
All right, we've now reached the top 2, the most critical, the most dangerous positions on our list. These are the ones that emergency room doctors see over and over again in stroke patients who, on the surface, seem perfectly healthy.
So on the left, we have number 2, which we're calling the twisted pretzel. That's where your torso and your legs are twisted in opposite directions. And on the right, the number 1 most dangerous position, the tight fetal position, where your chin is tucked all the way down to your chest.
Let's start with the twisted pretzel. Twisting your spine like this literally winds up the vertebral arteries. Those are the ones that run up through your spine to feed the back of your brain. It's exactly like kinking a garden hose. Research from UCLA showed this position reduces blood flow through those arteries by an average of 67%. You are literally strangling the blood supply to the back of your brain.
But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the danger of the tight fetal position. When your chin is forced down to your chest, you create a massive circulatory traffic jam. You're not just compressing one artery here, you're compressing both of your carotid arteries and the jugular veins that drain the blood away from the brain. A landmark Harvard study found this position increases your stroke risk by an astonishing 11 times compared to safe sleepers. 11 times. It's off the charts.
Okay, after all those warnings, you're probably wondering if there's any safe way to sleep at all. And the answer is absolutely yes. So let's pivot to the solution. This is your action plan for preventing a stroke while you sleep. The optimal position is called the cardiovascular neutral position. It's all about sleeping on your back, but with a slight elevation. The key here is that you're working with gravity, not against it. This ensures that blood can flow easily to and from your brain without any of those kinks, compressions, or twists we just talked about.
And achieving it is actually pretty simple. Step 1. Use a wedge pillow or even an adjustable bed to elevate your upper body about 15 to 30 degrees. Step 2. Get a good cervical pillow to support the natural curve of your neck. And Step 3. Place a small pillow under your knees. That just takes the pressure off your lower back. This simple setup keeps your entire circulatory system open, aligned, and happy all night long.
You know, when it all comes down to it, stroke prevention isn't just about what you do when you're awake. It's about consciously choosing a position that promotes healthy circulation every single night. The choice you make tonight about how you position your body for the next 8 hours could honestly be the most important health decision you make all year. Are you choosing the right one?